Back with another one. Today's topic is kind of going to be kind of controversial, interesting. Some people aren't going to agree. Some people will agree. Usually, those that don't agree are the ones that have never been there. But it's somebody asked me yesterday, can someone in prison fall in love with someone on the outside? And my honest opinion is, yeah, it can happen. It can happen. Now, if they get out and they hook up with that person, that's the question. Now, if it's someone that's doing a long time, like life in prison, which I've seen young ladies, beautiful, beautiful women fall in love with guys that are locked up, that have all day. My opinion on that is he only has them there because they're either sending them money, running dope, doing shit on the outside that they're not supposed to be doing, put it that way. And if they refuse, they'll just find somebody that does it. Now, a short timer, yeah, they can fall in love. They can hook up on the outside. You know, it can happen. It's possible that they can even get married. I've seen people get married in there without even knowing what the person's really like. They get married by, just what they see in them, what they feel, what they believe, what their heart tells them. From experience, somebody young, like I was, they'll have so many pen pals, so many girls writing them. But it's to get those money slips. This might sound crazy, but it's a true fact. When I was incarcerated, when I was about 19 years old, me and a whole bunch of other little young dudes, it was a game to us. We would see how many girls we could write, and see how many would send us money. Of course, those that sent us money, we were going to continue writing. Even something as little as $5. $5 can go a long way, and I'll tell you how. At one point, I was writing 10 different girls from all parts of the country. 10. And each one was sending me $5 a week. $5 a week. Imagine that. That's $20 a month for one person. Now imagine 10. And it's always the same line. Oh, I got to get shampoo, I got to get toothpaste, got to get deodorant. Always the same line. It works every time. And you write them all the same letter. All you're changing is a name. You're just copying the letter. You're going to tell them everything they want to hear. When you get out, you're going to hook up with them. You guys are going to get married, this and that, blah, 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 the whole game. I mean, if you got game and you can spit game, then you're going to win. So at this time, 10 different girls. You meet somebody, hey, hook me up with somebody, hook me up with one of your friends. It all starts right there. It all depends on how good is your game. If your game is tight, then your money's right. So I made I'm not going to say a living, but I made a pretty good amount of money where I didn't have to worry about nothing. Plus, I was working in there, so, I was coming up. Now, I hear people, and I see it, I read it, of these girls, these ladies on the outside, they fall in love with these guys that are doing life. But, nothing on the guy, because his game must be tight. For them to fall in love and then want to get married to them and they're never getting out, their game has got to be tight. But I'll tell you one thing, for the women on the outside, if someone's doing life, they're going to tell you everything that you want to hear. If their game is tight, you're going to believe it. Someone who's been around a long time, been down a long time, they can manipulate anybody, even another convict. They can say shit, they can believe it, and have them do anything they want. I know. In there, we call them dope fiends. They pull that dope fiend shit. See, I was a master at that, but I wasn't a dope fiend. See, growing up when I was young, I thought I was a player. I was a player. I'm not going to say I thought I was a player. I used to say I was a fucking pimp. I wasn't a real pimp, but I was a real player. And I didn't think I looked all that good. Of course, I didn't think I was that fucking ugly either, but, I thought my game was tight. And it was. It still is. I'm not going to say it was. It still is. My game is tight. See, but I don't use it like I used to use it. I used to use it for all the wrong reasons. I used to use it just to pull girls and get pussy, but, and I can still do that. There's been times where I just ran a little test trial to see how far I could get, these people to go. And I got as far as them sending me videos of them playing with themselves. Because my game is tight. But these guys in prison, they master that shit. We mastered that shit. We shared words, we shared lines, we shared things that we would tell women with other inmates, and they would tell the women the same thing. And if it worked, you roll with it. There's been only a couple of times where I heard someone get out and actually hooking up with someone that they were writing to and getting together with them. And it's cool, it's cool if they hook up, get married and shit. That's cool because, it's time for a motherfucker to settle down. And a lot of these women, they believe that the guy's gonna settle down. They give him a shot. I seen dudes hook up with rich bitches, rich bitches. $100 a week, no bullshit. I seen it. I never pulled nobody like that, but I did pull a correctional officer when I was 22 years old. See, at that age, I already been locked up like 4 years, and I already mastered that shit. And this bitch was she was kind of green around the ears, and shit. Once I threw that fishing hook, she nibbled on it. I yanked that motherfucker and I caught her. She was married and everything. Caught her. See, a married woman that's being treated bad by her husband, that's very vulnerable. They're very vulnerable. You tell them anything nice because they're not hearing it at home. They're not hearing they're beautiful at home. Nobody's telling them at home that they'll do anything for them, and They love him to the moon and back, and nobody's hearing that shit at home. You know, especially if you're married. When you're married, you're already married. You don't gotta say shit to, to pull them. You already pulled them. But when you're incarcerated, you're gonna say whatever you gotta say. Whatever you gotta say, you're gonna say it. And if it works, you're gonna go with it. I know this one couple. This guy, he's on death row. He's on death row. And he got him a young girl in her 20s. Well, this guy, he's not that old. He's like in his 30s, but she's in her 20s. Beautiful. Now, I don't know the name because I don't go that far into fucking research and shit. I don't give a fuck about another motherfucker, really. But there was a picture of them. And I'm talking about she is beautiful. And she already has a career. This motherfucker's on death row. How in the fuck does that happen? How do you fucking pull somebody when you're on death row and they know you're gonna die? How in the fuck do you pull them? Well, it's easy. She has a good heart. She has sympathy. She took a liking to him. He probably spoke nice to her. She fell in love with him. She knows he's gonna die one day, but everybody's gonna die one day. He's just gonna die earlier or sooner. You never know. A motherfucker on the street might die sooner. So it's kind of a one of those things where one can't outweigh the other one. You can fall in love with somebody today and tomorrow they could be dead. At the same time, you fall in love with somebody that's doing life in prison, and you're gonna outlive them. Even if you don't outlive them, then you still know that he's not gonna die out here. He's not gonna die early, unless he just gets whacked in there, somebody kills him. But as far as being out in the streets and have to worry about getting locked up or have to worry about getting shot or something like that, they don't got to worry about that. It's a whole different kind of worry. Death row inmates, they're on general population main lines now. Now you got to worry about being stabbed. Even in the shoe, you could be stabbed. You could be stabbed anywhere if somebody wants to get you. But they fall in love with these guys that they know are going to be executed. And this girl, like I said, she's very beautiful. She's very beautiful that if I had a chance, I would try to pull her if I was locked up. I'm already married. I don't worry about that shit. My wife knows my game is tight. It's tight. She knows that. She knows that because she read my fucking chats before where I don't really try to pull no bitches, but I flirt with them. She read them before. I get their panties wet. But I don't try to pull them like I'm gonna go fuck them. These bitches are all around the world. So she knows my game is tight. I know my game is tight. And like I said, a guy in prison, his game is tight. Super tight. He ain't got nothing to do in there but think about staying alive and what he's gonna tell this bitch. That's it. And if they're sending him money, he's gonna tell them whatever they have to hear. Even if it's I love you. That motherfucker don't love her. Guarantee you. If something happens to her, he'll be mad because now somebody fucked off his money. If she got hooked up with somebody, yeah, he'll be mad because somebody took his money. Anytime you deal with somebody's money, somebody that's locked up, oh yeah, they'll be mad if you fuck with their money. Other than that, they don't give a fuck about you. Let her tell them no. he asked for her to send her money somewhere so he can get a fucking ounce of dope, let her say no. Let her refuse. And that motherfucker will come out with every meanest thing in the fucking book to tell her, put her down, make her feel bad, make her feel sad, make her feel guilty, make her feel all that, make her feel like a piece of shit. Why? Because she ain't doing what he's saying. She's not sending the money. She's not running this dope. She's not doing none of that. Now he's got to find another one. So all you beautiful ladies out there, I'm not even going to say all you beautiful ladies, I'm going to say all you ladies out there. If you're even thinking about hooking up with somebody that's in prison, especially somebody that's doing life, don't do it. Don't do it because they don't give a fuck about you. And if you don't believe me, just tell him no one time. Tell him no one time and see how he reacts. Tell him no a couple of times and see how you react. See how many bitches he calls you. You know, it's simple. That's an easy one. I'm at work. Time for me to get some coffee. Hit this J. Glad you could join me on my drive. You guys didn't know, but before I started this, I set up my phone and I ran a fucking red light. I got that clip though. I should add it on because it's fucking funny. I'll holler at you guys later. I'm out.